Coleman would not live long enough to establish a school for young black aviators, but her pioneering achievements served as an inspiration for a generation of African American men and women. Because of Bessie Coleman, wrote Lieutenant William J. Powell in Black Wings, 1934, dedicated to Coleman, "We have overcome that which was worse than racial barriers. We have overcome the barriers within ourselves and dared to dream." Powell served in a segregated unit during World War I, and tirelessly promoted the cause of black aviation through his book, his journals, and the Bessie Coleman Aero Club, which he founded in 1929. On April 30, 1926, Coleman was in Jacksonville, Florida. She had recently purchased a Curtiss JN-4, Jenny, in Dallas. Her mechanic and publicity agent, 24-year-old William D. Wills, flew the plane from Dallas in preparation for an airshow and had to make 3 forced landings along the way because the plane had been so poorly maintained. Upon learning this, Coleman's friends and family did not consider the aircraft safe and implored her not to fly it, but she refused. On takeoff, Wills was flying the plane with Coleman in the other seat. She was planning a parachute jump for the next day, and wanted to examine the terrain as seen from the cockpit. About 10 minutes into the flight, the plane unexpectedly went into a dive and then a spin at 3,000 feet above the ground. Coleman was thrown from the plane at 2,000 feet, 610 meters, and was killed instantly when she hit the ground. Wills was unable to regain control of the plane, and it plummeted to the ground. He died upon impact. The plane exploded, bursting into flames. Although the wreckage of the plane was badly burned, it was later discovered that a wrench used to service the engine had jammed the controls. Coleman was 34 years old. Funeral services were held in Florida, before her body was sent back to Chicago. While there was little mention in most media, news of her death was widely carried in the African American press. 10,000 mourners attended her ceremonies in Chicago, which were led by activist Ida B. Wells. Atlanta, Texas, has a regional history museum which proudly displays a downscale reproduction version of Bessie Coleman's yellow biplane, Queen Bess. The museum display also includes a uniform and other memorabilia regarding the life and times of Bessie Coleman. Outside the Regional History Museum is a Texas historical marker located at 101 N East Street in historic downtown, Atlanta. The road to the Hall Miller Municipal Airport in Atlanta is named Bessie Coleman Drive in her honor. A public library in Chicago was named in Coleman's honor, as are roads at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Oakland International Airport in California, Tampa International Airport in Florida, and at Germany's Frankfurt International Airport. A memorial plaque has been placed by the Chicago Cultural Center at the location of her former home, 41st and King Drive in Chicago, and it is a tradition for African American aviators to drop flowers during flyovers of her grave at Lincoln Cemetery. A roundabout leading to Nice Airport in the south of France was named after Coleman in March 2016, and there are streets in Poitiers, and the 20th arrondissement of Paris also named after her. Bessie Coleman Middle School in Cedar Hill, Texas, is named for her. Bessie Coleman Boulevard in Waxahachie, Texas, where she lived as a child, is named in her honor. B. Coleman Aviation, a fixed-base operator based at Gary, Chicago International Airport, is named in her honor. Several Bessie Coleman Scholarship Awards have been established for high school seniors planning careers in aviation. The U.S. Postal Service issued a 32-cent stamp honoring Coleman in 1995. The Bessie Coleman Commemorative is the 18th in the U.S. Postal Service Black Heritage Series. In 2001, Coleman was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. In 2006, Coleman was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame. In 2012, a bronze plaque with Coleman's likeness was installed on the front doors of Paxson School for Advanced Studies located on the site of the Jacksonville airfield where Coleman's fatal flight took off. Coleman was honored with a toy character in Season 5, Episode 11A of the children's animated television program Doc McStuffins. Coleman was placed number 14 on Flying's 2013 list of the 51 Heroes of Aviation.